Hello and welcome to ULT. Today is February the 20th, and this is my trade journal. We are looking at gold, the 1 minute chart, and it was actually a good day today. Tricky day because the setups were far and few between if we follow the rules strictly, which I actually did. And the one good entry I took, I ended up. Well, actually, I don't even remember. Oh my gosh. Let's see. We got 10 ticks. Oh, it hit. It hit. All right. So one good win today. So let's go through them. As I'm going throughout the day, I've started to annotate the pivots high and low by my circles. As you've seen, that just helps me to keep kind of active with what's going on in the chart so I don't zone off too bad. So first thing I'm looking for is a pivot low. Here we get a pivot low. And actually, there could be a circle here. Let's see right here. I mean, this was a pivot low first. We didn't pull back to the line though. We created a new pivot low and a pullback. This is a smooth pullback. Each progressing candle did not come below the prior candle. So that was a nice pullback. Nice entry here. I got into it late, as you can see. This one, compared to the day before, I actually managed correctly. So I didn't get in right away. I was a little too slow. But this wick, this candle did not come to my nine ticks where I would move my stop to break even. And so because of that, I went ahead and left my order sitting here at 1 tick below the entry candle. It came back, ticked me in, and then came back down and hit the profit target. So really a pretty clean trade there. So that was good. We came down here. We did create a low here. No pullback into the line before it pushed down. Another pivot low, but here we do not have a smooth pullback, even though we do get a reaction. There's this candle comes below, so no smooth pullback. We create a new low. This time we break through the line, so there's no entry off of this either. Even though it's interesting, you can see the ones that worked really well, they both did the same thing. We have a low, we have a pullback, we have a lower low, a little bit of a pullback above this high, and then it drops. We got the same thing here. A low, a pullback, a lower low, just a little bit above that previous high, and then a drop. So interesting to note, but it didn't follow the rules, so we did not take an entry. Again, the big thing that I'm focused on right now is working to take the entries as they appear. Just don't even think about it, right? If it fits the strategy and it follows your rules, you just take the trade. After that, we don't create a new low, and so we pull all the way back up to the red line. Technically, the question would be, well, actually, no, I was going to say, is this a red line trade? But really, it's not, because we don't even touch the red line till this candle here at 941, and we don't get a break below that candle. Instead, price pushes on through. As soon as we get a candle close on the other side, for me, that's no entry. And so I don't get in. It's tricky here because we're hovering, we're kind of bouncing both sides of the overnight open. Not an area that I like to trade in. It can get choppy at the overnight open. In fact, on this trade, the reason that I did take this is because there was plenty of space between entry and that overnight open. If the overnight open was closer, that would have invalidated the trade. But there was plenty of space to hit our profit target before that line was tagged. We create a high, we pull back. Remember from the prior day, I got kind of slapped on the wrist for not trading with my gold line and my red line agreeing, meaning that the gold line is below the red line for a short, or the gold line is above the red line for a long. And so I don't get into any of this stuff here because the lines do not line up. Then get a phone call. All right, let's see. Eventually, the lines do cross. So the red line and the gold line cross. We get a high. We get a pullback to the red line. Now, this is the trade that I should have taken that I didn't take. And this one, I got nervous because we had a strong push up and then a strong rip back down. And so I was uncomfortable with it, even though it follows the rules. We have a pivot high. We have a pullback to the red line. The entry should have been at the top of this inside bar right here. And that would have got us our 10 ticks, I believe. From the top of this candle to this high is 18. So yeah, that would have got me my 10 ticks. And it does obviously go higher. And then after that, let's see, I guess we get one more right here. So we do finally create a new high. This one here is not a new high. So we get a new high here. We get a pullback to the gold line, really nice smooth pullback, and then a pop up. This one's a little choppier, but it works out just fine. We do not, there's no wick below. If we were playing super cautious and we were trailing candles, we might have got stopped out for a little bit of a profit. But it moved higher. As far as my trailing rules, to follow the rules strictly, if I'm in a green line trade, those trades should have a lot of reaction. It comes down and it should bounce off of it. If it doesn't bounce off of it, we don't want to be in it. And so for those, I would trail a little more aggressively. Gold line and red line trades can take a little more time to develop. The red line can be much more choppy before price moves away from it. So for those, I would normally just keep my stop loss below the entry candle for the entirety of the trade. So if that was the case, we would have been fine. So again, where did this go to? This went exactly 10 ticks from the top of this candle to the top of this candle. So we would not have got filled. We would have had to sit through a little bit of a pullback and then it moved up. And I didn't even mark this one. So let me mark that for future reference. These arrows are a pain to use. That's one thing I wish NinjaTrader would do a little bit better a job of, is their charting tools are a little clunky. So there we go. And you can see I try and make these white lines here to represent the pivots that I wouldn't want to break on the way back to the line. And so that's all that they are. This one, of course, is still a valid trade because we do not break below here and we pull up. Even though it happens, 2 or 3 minutes after 11 o'clock, that's still a fine trade. Like I said yesterday, a lot of times you get a good trade actually set up here between 11 and 11:10. So if it's coming back, it's worth a few minutes to wait and see if something sets up. So there we go. So positive day today. I'll have to crunch the numbers and see. I think we were up $100 or $110. I think we got a little positive slippage on this guy. Just one trade. So that was it. But those were all the valid trades. Again, none of them failed. So that should give confidence in my plan. Going back and seeing these things play out. It just takes a lot of patience to sit through this, you get very anxious to take a trade, but that anxiety can go down if you have a clear understanding of what your rules are and you're just looking for those signals. It's easy to get sucked up into all the other price action and all the other opportunities that you might see. So it's a reminder for me to just be patient. All I'm looking for is that pivot high and a pullback. If we don't get it, we don't get it. Pivot high and pullback, because those are the high probability entries. We're just looking for a few quick scalps. We're picking up $100 bills and moving on with our day. So that is my journal for today. It's a pretty short one, quick and easy. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.